This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Thursday, the 2nd day of May in the year 2019. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Former Minister within the Ministry of Public Health, Dr. Karen Cummings, has been appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs. She took the oath of office before President David Granger this morning at the Ministry of the Presidency. Dr. Cummings has taken over the portfolio from Carl Greenidge, who was forced to resign because of his dual citizenship. The Constitution of Guyana prohibits anyone who holds dual citizenship from serving as a member of the National Assembly. Dr. Cummings has been serving as Minister within the Ministry of Public Health since the government came to power in 2015. Her appointment is being seen as a major promotion in the government, as she will now be in charge of the Foreign Affairs Ministry as a cabinet minister. President David Granger said the country could not be without a foreign minister, and in his own deliberate judgment, he believes that she was the fittest person within the government to take on the role of foreign minister at this time.
Minister Carl Greenidge demitted office on the 25th, and you know the circumstances surrounding that event last week, Thursday. So the deciding factor is that the country could not be without a foreign minister. And I felt, in my considered judgment, that she was the fittest person to hold that portfolio. That was the deciding factor.
The president also administered the oath of office to the other new government ministers today. Tabitha Sarabo-Halley has taken on the job of Minister of Public Service in the Ministry of the Presidency. Hemraj Rajkumar is the new Minister of Business, and Dawn Hastings-Williams is the new Minister of State in the Ministry of the Presidency. The president also issued new documents of appointments to the junior ministers who have been assigned new portfolios. News Source understands that at least 2 other appointments could come as the president seeks to rebalance the government. Today, the president indicated that with the appointments and reassignments, Guyanese can be assured that the government will continue to function smoothly.
I expect that those who have taken the oath of office this morning will fulfill their obligations at all times. I have a duty to ensure that the government acts in accordance with the Constitution. 4 ministers resigned their seats in the National Assembly and their portfolios in the Cabinet with effect from the 25th of April, 7 days ago, in order to comply with the Constitution. Their resignations have necessitated a rebalancing in the executive. The Guyanese nation can be assured and can continue to look forward to the smooth functioning of their government as a result of these changes.
More news coming up in just a moment.
Baby, now, take me into your loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars.
It's your turn, Barbies. You ask for it, you go for it. The GTT Plus Star Singing Competition is here. Do you think you have what it takes to win? It's Plus Star Singing with Plus Star ratings. Auditions open on the 4th of May at Little Rock Suites from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Register today. Visit gtt.co.gy for more details. With GTT, there's always more to learn.
The future is green. Let's help you experience the future with easy financing for your business or home. Be it for solar energy, water treatment recycling, water filters, energy-saving appliances, or wind power projects. Enjoy competitive interest rates, fast approvals, and discounted lending services fees, low equity contribution, and flexible repayment. Visit us for details or go to www.gbtibank.com or email us at banking@gbtibank.com. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Friends with benefits!
Let's be friends with benefits.
The craziest concert to hit Guyana! Friday, 24th of May, 2019! We head to DCC ground! Let's Gibb Street, Queenstown! Friends with benefits!
Welcome back. President David Granger today explained that former Minister of State Joe Harmon's new role as Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency will see him assisting with the management of the ministry. Mr. Harmon was one of the 4 government ministers who recently resigned following the court rulings that it is illegal for someone who holds dual citizenship to sit as a member of parliament. Mr. Harmon is a U.S. citizen. He has indicated that he has started the process of renouncing that U.S. citizenship. On the sidelines of the swearing in of the new government ministers today, President Granger spoke about Mr. Harmon's new role.
Well, his functions are to continue to assist me in the administration of the Ministry of the Presidency. All ministers are my assistants, but Mr. Harmon in particular will have a non-ministerial role in helping me to manage the Ministry of the Presidency. As you know, the ministry has several large departments. I'm responsible for defense, I'm responsible for environment, I'm responsible for energy, and there are several other commissions. In addition to that, there are 2 large departments, 3 large departments, the Department of the Public Service, Department of Culture, Youth and Sport, and the Department of Energy. These are all very large very huge administrative responsibilities, and I need his assistance in helping me to manage the ministry.
At the post-cabinet press briefing today, Mr. Harmon also spoke about his new role.
This position, like some of the other changes that I announced, have taken place at a time when you had 4 senior ministers of the government demitting office at the same time. What that required, therefore, as the President said this morning, was some amount of rebalancing in the government. And so changes had to be made. Junior ministers were promoted, some persons were reassigned, and all of these things are taking place within a very short space of time. So you would appreciate that this rebalancing takes time, and also the actual designation of some former ministers and the duties which they perform are still works in progress. I can say to you that one specific responsibility I've been given is the continuation of the post-cabinet press briefing, and hence my being here today, and the fact that the President has invited me to sit in the cabinet meetings so that I can brief the nation on the things that are being dealt with in the cabinet.
President Granger also told the media that he has had discussions with the other recently resigned ministers, Dr. Rupert Ripner and Carl Greenwich, and he's hopeful that they will continue to assist the government. Still in the world of politics, General Secretary of the PPP and opposition leader Bharat Jagdeo today declared that late PPP Minister of Home Affairs Ronald Gajraj was a patriot and an effective minister. It was under Jagdeo's presidency that Gajraj came under the microscope for allegedly spearheading a phantom death squad that is believed to have been responsible for the murders of hundreds of Guyanese, including wanted men. At his weekly press conference today, Mr. Jagdeo sought to criticize the sympathy motion for late former Member of Parliament Abdul Qadir, who died in a U.S. jail where he was serving a life sentence for a terrorism conspiracy conviction. Jagdeo said he has noticed that some members of the government, in trying to defend the motion which has been criticized by the international community, have sought to equate the motion for Qadir to a moment of silence in the same parliament for Ronald Gajraj. Jagdeo said the two cannot be compared. It was Jagdeo who fired Gajraj as Home Affairs Minister and dispatched him to India as the High Commissioner there, following the explosive revelations about his alleged knowledge of the operations of a death squad that lent support to the then government. Jagdeo today said Mr. Gajraj was never convicted of anything.
There's been no motion passed, sympathy motion for Ronald Gajraj. That's one. Secondly, she has, even in his death, disparaged a patriot. She spoke about Gajraj being fingered in so many things. Now, fingered by whom? It is the same APNU PNC cabal who were complicit with the criminals who took over Buxton, who fingered Gajraj because he was an effective minister.
In leaked cables on WikiLeaks between the U.S. government and the U.S. Embassy here in Georgetown, the embassy indicated that, at the time, now convicted drug trafficker Roger Can enjoyed political protection from government of Guyana officials at the highest level. At a minimum, the embassy said former Home Affairs Minister Ronald Gajraj and longtime head of the Presidential Secretariat at the time, Roger Luncheon, collaborated with Can. In the same leaks, the U.S. Embassy reported to Washington that Ronald Gajraj, who became Guyana's High Commissioner to India, orchestrated Guyana's death squads between 2002 and 2003, certainly in close collaboration with Roger Can. On the police blotter right now, police investigators moved into the Old Boys Town community this morning where a businesswoman was found murdered and her husband badly injured. The woman has been identified as Nalini Prasad, known as Nalo. She owned and operated a shop in the community. The business place is located at Nunparel and James Street, Old Boys Town. According to reports, the woman was found murdered in the upper flat of the building and strangled to death. The husband was found in the lower flat of the building, reportedly with his hands and feet tied up. The discovery was made this morning by a worker attached to the business place. It is reported that the robbers gained entry to the building by removing wooden boards from the back of the building.
We were laid down in the bed sleeping when two gunmen and two other men just came up to us and said, "Don't say nothing, don't talk nothing." And two men had gun and one had no gun. No, the two other had no gun. So it's two guns in all and four men with masks. And I then said, they said, if you cooperate, we ain't gonna do nothing to you. And she started to squeal and one of them run and snatch and torn. She down on the bed, right? And after that, they put a lasso around me neck and dry it. They come downstairs, torn off them lights where them break and enter. I didn't know she died. Nobody killed her. I know that I cooperate with them because I don't want anything to happen to both of us. I said you could go with wherever you want, go with it, but don't touch us. But she keeps screaming, and that's the problem. And then when after them cut out me all the bandage out of me face, and so then I go upstairs and I see she son saying, then kill my mother.
So have they taken anything? Have they taken anything?
Well, she always has got money, and me, you know how much money she had.
Persons in the area said they heard no gunshots, but it is suspected that the couple were attacked during the course of the night by more than one robbers. Details are emerging as the police investigations continue. Turning now to the courts, the 55-year-old West Rheinfeldt woman who was busted at the Eugene F. Correa Airport Ogle with 7 pounds of cocaine strapped to her thighs was today sentenced to 4 years in jail and fined $9.1 million. The convict Sandra Angela Prophet broke down in tears as she admitted to the cocaine trafficking charge this morning when she appeared at the Sparendam Magistrates Court. She told the magistrate that she made the decision to ferry out the cocaine to assist her son to cover the bills for a car that he had wrecked, since the owner of the vehicle kept pressuring him to buy a new car. The woman said she could not see her son facing the hefty bill to purchase a new car and not do something about it. Prophet apologized to the court for her actions and begged for forgiveness. She was sentenced to 4 years in jail. The woman was an outgoing passenger to Barbados on the 29th of April when she was stopped and searched by agents of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit. Several packages of the cocaine were found strapped to her upper thighs. She was immediately arrested. Kano believes that the woman might have received some assistance in obtaining the cocaine and having it strapped to her body. A wanted bulletin was issued by Kano last evening for businessman Winston Carto, also known as Chief Mike. He is wanted in connection with the same drug bust. Anyone knowing his whereabouts is being asked to contact Kanu. Across the region is coming up next.
Guyoil is a proud Guyanese-owned and Guyanese-operated company, serving our nation for over 42 years. All the profits remain in Guyana and are used for the development of our country. So when you buy fuel and lubricants from Guyoil, you are directly contributing to Guyana's economic development. Let's continue to build this nation together. Fuel up and drive with Super 95 from Guyoil.
Fuel it up and drive!
The last Inhale Soca Block Party was a definite hit. There was like these fire breathers and stuff like that. Like they had conga lines and the whole vibe for the party was just perfect.
We had a blast. I did all of the base makeup.
You know, the girls walking around with the gunny thing, spraying, spraying the shots in the mouth, kneel down, see boys kneel down, put the foot, getting shots in the mouth.
They had some things that I had never seen before, which is these CO2 guns.
They literally had like a mosh pit in front of the stage. Everybody form a circle and people jumping in and dancing crazy, girls on the ground.
DJs, they were really good. That most of all made us enjoy ourselves.
The only advice I could give y'all is to definitely get your tickets early.
I will be there soon as Drew give him a free pass.
The Soca Block Party, Friday the 17th of May.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Across the region right now, in Trinidad and Tobago, police detained former Attorney General Anand Ramlaghan on Wednesday as he was about to board a flight, according to media reports out of the neighboring territory. The report said Ramlaghan's detention is related to an investigation into matters while he was the Attorney General. Media reports in Trinidad said a warrant was also issued for the arrest of Attorney Gerald Ramdin, who was also an opposition UNC senator in Trinidad and Tobago. In neighboring Venezuela, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has called for military unity in an appearance with soldiers at the airbase where opposition leader Juan Guaido called for an uprising 2 days ago. Flanked by commanders, Mr. Maduro said today that the military must be prepared to combat traitors, and the opposition had sought to provoke bloodshed in Caracas since security forces failed to respond to Guaido's bid to take power. He spoke from the Carlota Air Base in the opposition stronghold of eastern Caracas, that was the epicenter of the short-lived uprising. Guaido, backed by a small contingent of security forces, called for the military to turn against Maduro on Tuesday. But police dispersed the crowds and clashes that raged on for hours. And finally tonight, international news. The British government does not think it is necessary to refer the National Security Council leak to the police, the Prime Minister's office has said. Responding to calls from the MPs for a police inquiry, the Prime Minister's deputy said that the Prime Minister considered the matter closed. He said Gavin Williamson, who was sacked on Wednesday as Defense Secretary, had not been accused of a criminal offense, but had lost the Prime Minister's confidence. Mr. Williamson has strenuously denied being the source of the leak. He was sacked following an inquiry into the leak, which led to reports in the Daily Telegraph on plans to allow Chinese company Huawei to help build the UK's 5G network. Opposition members of Parliament in the UK have said there should be an investigation into whether the Official Secrets Act had been breached. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting.